Hi guys, it's the Black Bonsai guy and I'm back here today. I'll be fertilizing my grapefruit tree. I do this for all of my citrus trees, actually all of my edible. I use this same product right here. It's called Dr. Ertz. It's a 552. That's your NPK reading right there. It's a natural wonder, organic and natural, handcrafted blend, fruit tree fertilizer. So I use this on all of my trees. He makes different products. I like it. It gives me good yield. The instructions are on back. You can read through that depending on what kind of tree you have and figure out what ratio you need to do. I know what I need to do. Basically what you want to do is measure 6 inches up from the base of the tree, 6 inches up, and take that width. I think that's about 5.5 inches. So typically what I do is, the bag says use 2 cups per every inch. And if I think that's 5 inches, I should be using 10 cups. I never go full strength. So, cause I feed my trees 3 times a year. And I recommend you feed your trees 3 times a year. You typically want to do it around Valentine's Day, Memorial Day, and Labor Day. That's pretty much the rough guidelines that people follow on feeding citrus trees out here in Arizona. Those dates may vary depending on where you live, but that's just a general rule of thumb. I've already put, let's see, I put about 6 cups of it down already. So I'll do 1 more cup and mix it in so you guys can see. But again, you want to fertilize your citrus trees. And if you're doing your citrus, you might as well do everything else around the same time. Valentine's Day, Memorial Day, and then again on Labor Day. Now, you may be wondering why I'm doing it right now since it's since Memorial Day has passed. I have not been able to get, I actually have a 25-pound bag of this, and I scoop it out and I put it in this little small bag like this. And because it's just easier for me to move this one around the yard versus that 25-pound bag. So I haven't been able to find the 25-pound bag due to COVID. But now that COVID, well, it's actually spiking back up, but supply chains and supplies are starting to, hit the stores and everything. I was able to get it. So I'm a couple days late. I'm not worried about it. Like I said, I've already put some of the fertilizer down. I'll do a little bit on camera so you can see. It's real simple. You just want to throw it around like that. Again, I already put some in there, so I never go full strength on my fertilizer. That's an organic product. It's all natural, but I never go. My tree is pretty healthy. You shouldn't just feed your tree to be feeding your trees. You should be feeding your trees once you get to know them based on, signs of not producing fruit, things don't look healthy. I'll show you my tree after I'm done. And I just take a little rake like this, and I just fill it in. Once I see that it's all in, I know I'm good. I then throw my rocks back over the top of that. And the rocks help hold a bit of the moisture in. I'll finish throwing the rocks down, then I'll come back. All right, I'm back. I got all the rocks placed back on the tree over the root zone. I don't put them in any particular order. I just put rocks over them because they help reflect some of the sunlight back off of the root zone. You have feeder roots generally in this area of the tree, and those feeder roots, they don't like to be dried out. So I just generally put rocks over them. As leaves fall down from the tree, they'll cover this area up. You can see some leaves over here. I also have a willow tree behind me. I take those leaves and I just throw them over there and just provide additional shade. So the fertilizer is in, rocks are back. We're just gonna go ahead and water this in. Before I go further, I recommend everyone use a watering wand. I got this one from Walmart. I think we paid like $6 for it. I recommend watering all of your plants with a water wand, and do not water the leaves, water the root zone. The roots, the tree will suck water up and feed it to the leaves. Never water your leaves if you can help it. That'll help cut down on your fungus, mildew, and all of your leaf-borne diseases. Water the root zone, much better. One thing I do is Walmart, so you know some of this stuff is suspect. I take a little bit of what do they call that? Plumbing tape, that white stuff that plumbers use, and I wrap these accordingly, and it helps make it last longer. But I'll just water this in. No big deal. So I'll stop for a second. You see we have some puddling right there. I want to let the water penetrate the ground. Every time you water, you're not just watering, you're also exposing air to your roots. So as that water goes down, it's going to also bring air into the soil. So I want to let that penetrate, and then I'll come back and water again. Every time I water out here in Arizona, this comes from the Bonsai side of the house, we water 3 times. One time for the soil, one time for the tree, and then one time for the container that you have your bonsai in. In this case, that was my first watering. I don't have a container, it's the ground. So I'll call that one for the ground. I'll come back again, I'll do it for the tree, and then I'll come back again and do it for the actual leaves. All right, this is our second time. We're gonna let that penetrate into the soil. I'll pause for a second. All right, we back. So just to recap, we watered one time for the soil, we watered one time for the tree. Now we're gonna water again. We don't have a container, so we're watering for the ground. The ground is our container here. But if this was a bonsai pot, one time for the soil, one time for the tree, and one time for the container. So here we go. All right, so I'll let that go ahead and soak into the ground. I have the tree is on drip irrigation, so every morning around 7 o'clock it'll come on, and I just use a rock to hold those down. But that's it. It's no fuss, no hassle out here in Arizona growing citrus. It's every backyard should have. It's one of the easiest things to grow. So now what I'll do is I will pause and I'll show you some of the tree. All right, so we're actually under the canopy of the tree. As you can see, it's real green. My leaves look good. That's why I didn't do full strength on the fertilizer. Because look at that. That's textbook right there. You got the shiny green, the wax coating. No signs of mineral or vitamin deficiency. So this is underneath the canopy. Look at that. Those are the next batch of grapefruit that are coming in. When I bought this house, this tree was already back here. Let me get a better angle here. There we go. And this tree was it was almost dying because the house was on the market for a while and they cut the irrigation off, so they wasn't watering it. So I was able to, look at that, it's loaded. I was able to step in and give it some black bonsai guy help. Let me just kind of back up a little bit. You can see, got a fruit right there, one right there. I actually cut the canopy open last summer, to let more light in, because I'm trying to bring it down. As you can see, it's getting high, and we don't need it to be that high. It produces too many grapefruit, to be honest with you. I can never eat them all. In fact, I really don't like grapefruit, but grapefruit on this particular tree tastes great. It's more on the sweeter side. Again, back in the canopy. Let me pause and show you another angle. All right. Sorry about the sun, but it's dense foliage. I need to cut it back. I need to prune it. You're not supposed to cut citrus trees or prune them because the wood is stronger than most fruit trees, and they tend to do very well. So you're not supposed to cut citrus, but I know how to prune properly, so I'm not worried about that. I wanted to give it a couple years to fill out before I did it. So I'm doing it in stages, taking it back by 25%, but the tree is growing so well, the fruit just, it bounces back so quickly. It's just crazy. It's like, I almost feel bad for pruning it. And one of the reasons why it's shaking back so fast is because I do prune it. I'm stimulating new growth and new wood, and all of that new wood is new fruiting wood. So see here, that leaf, that looks like it at one point may have been lacking iron or even magnesium. Just walk you around. More fruit. That's probably on this tree. You can see it goes up quite a way. All that right here, from here all the way up there, is new growth. It probably put on about 5 feet of new growth since I cut it. But this tree, it probably has, I say maybe 150 to 200 grapefruit on it right now. So this is the importance of doing fertilizing, taking care of your tree, watering it right. So that's it. It's the Black Bonsai Guy. I will be back.